WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. So up until this point, we didn't do the celebrity thing. We haven't had many legends. There hasn't really been a lot of tomfoolery. But we did have the angle night one when you were here. They took out question marks. They took out Bayley, leaving Lyra Valkyria 24 hours to find a partner. Liv and Becky make their way to the ring. No, I said that wrong. Liv and Raquel make their way to the ring. Anticipating a handicap match, Lyra Valkyria, the WWE Intercontinental Champion, or the Women's Intercontinental Champion, comes to the ring in full bird garb. It's not even.
Those wings were fire.
It wasn't even subtle this time. She literally, if she would have paper mache'd a fucking beak, that was the only thing missing. It was full bird attire. She had wings that went from finger to shoulder.
They look like real wings. Those things were crazy.
There was some wing envy in the audience. They all wanted a pair of. Sell those at the shop. People will buy those. The wings, the full sleeve wings, and a lot of names coming up in people's heads. They did the hesitation thing a lot like they did for Joe Henry. My wife goes, "What do you think it's going to be?" I said, "Please just don't be a legend. That's it. I didn't want Trish or Lita or any of that stuff to happen." Well.
Worse.
They got awfully close to the legend thing, and it did. And he said worse. They did a bad thing. It was Becky Lynch. She's back, and they were saying on commentary, she's been out for over a year. It's been 1 year. She wrestled Wrestlemania, and then she won the title for no reason after Rhea's injury. Sometime after that, and then wrestled for like a few weeks, dropped it, and fucking bounced. But she's back, and she teamed with Lyra Valkyria, and I felt bad, and I immediately thought of you because it happened again. She did it again. She just arrived out of thin fucking air, showed up to WrestleMania, and beat a motherfucker for a fucking championship again. She just, it wasn't Bianca. But she did it again, and it was so funny because I brought it up to Steph. I said, "She did it again, son of a bitch." And then my wife goes, "Yeah, but she did it to Liv." I said, "You know what, though?
It makes me even more angry because now I have sympathy for Liv.
Exactly. Now I have to feel bad for her because you know what? It was so funny because we were talking at the round table, and I was saying out loud, I'm going to go ahead and take the L because she's been doing so good, and I still don't think she's a very good wrestler, but all the other stuff that you would need to do to be a WWE superstar, she's really actually been very serviceable and doing very well. As a matter of fact, I felt based on her year, the fact that she was in the tag team title match at WrestleMania. At the very least you can do for her, she goes over. And then Becky comes back, puts the kibosh on that. And I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, I felt really fucked. You're making me feel bad for Liv Morgan, and that's not good. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be at this place. Jesus Christ. But yes, not much to discuss as far as the match itself, but Becky Lynch returns. The two Irish women win the match, which I brought up to Steph. I was like, yeah, they're both Irish. And she was like, oh, shit. Are the other two both Spanish? I was like, no, I think Liv's Italian or some shit. But Raquel's Spanish. She's Mexican. So I was like, oh, all right. So it's Mexico, Italy, and Ireland. It's a global matchup. Which led us into the match. The match that everyone has been declared.
Hold on, you just gonna skim. You're not even gonna let me get nothing off on that. You just gonna let her.
You want to?
You're gonna let her do this shit again and me not say anything?
I didn't want you to have to repeat yourself because I feel like the way that this whole thing went down, I feel like we've been here. You have something new for it? Go ahead.
All right, we need to start unironically. We need to start having a conversation about leaving Charlotte Flair alone, and I think
Uh-oh.
I think Becky is 1,000 times fucking worse than Charlotte could ever be in this situation. This is unfucking believable that this is happening, and at this point, to me, her reputation is complete shit. And the fact that the WWE allows her to do this bullshit, she's not that good to have this much power. I'm sorry, she's good. But now when you got me comparing, like, all right, is it worth fucking people over who's been working all year for a big night for one person to come in and completely shit on them? I don't understand why she comes out of the blue. First of all, let's keep it real. She made the phone call and Bayley got sad. Let's just be honest. At the end of the day, Bayley got pulled, which also makes me annoyed because I was off Bayley. Now I kind of have to be back on her side. And I hope she comes back heel, and I hope she talks shit because there's no reason why they sat her. Out of all people, I should have been okay with it. But there's no reason why they sat her for this. And then to make that little side bullshit apology Triple H made at the end during the press conference, that was for Bayley. 1,000%. There's nothing in my mind that you can't convince me that wasn't apologizing to Bayley. Because the first thing he started talking about, the people that are here and, even more the people that aren't here, like they work hard all year. Yeah, dude, we know what you're saying. My brain instantly felt bad for Bayley and this bullshit that she pulled to get in this match for no reason. What? To make Lyra a double belt holder? Why? Why does she have 2 belts? I don't understand why that's on her record now. Only because they decided they wanted to put her in this match. Then you go to the post interview and she's sitting there with her child. That was annoying. No one wanted that. I don't know who that was for.
Her.
It wasn't cute. It was annoying. And then to see Lyra, she looked like she didn't want to fucking be there. Like, if there wasn't a kid sitting on her lap, I think she would have swung on her. Like, that's how fucking annoyed she looked. Only, and I know I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but I kind of want you to make this point, to drop the fucking belts.
Yeah.
To the same people.
Right back.
To turn on Lyra? Who the fuck is buying into this? I don't understand. You didn't turn. I don't get what the fuck's going on. I want to believe that Lyra went and complained, and then someone told her, and then she was like, all right, then we're going to drop the belts, and I'm going to turn on her, and I'm going to feud with her, and I'm going to kick her ass. I hope that's what happened in real time, and that, like, this wasn't the plan, because it's a stupid fucking plan. We done took the belts off of Liv, which should have been a huge fucking moment for him and for her and Ray. That got squashed. Like, so many fucking things got destroyed because she decides she wants to come back.
But that's the thing. She doesn't decide those things. That's the problem. Because I'm sure she voices what she wants. I'm sure she does. But at the end of the day, if Triple H doesn't say, sure, let's do it, it doesn't happen. They enable this shit. They go, well, she's the veteran.
This is my first problem with Triple H. He should have said no to this. He should have said no to this. I don't know who she has a video of doing something. It's the only thing that makes sense. Someone was sucking dick somewhere, and she's got a video of it. Jeez. And she gets to do whatever the fuck she wants because of it. And it's a shame, but I really, this is my last point, is she's not that good for this level and the ability to be disrespectful to the people who work day in and day out, and she decides she wants to go in and out whenever the fuck she wants. At least Charlotte went into the Rumble. This is twice she skipped the fucking line and just did whatever the fuck she wanted to. And trust me, I'm sure the idea of becoming champion again was on the top of her mind. If it wasn't for, like, Charlotte challenging Tiff, she probably would have asked to squish her the same way.
To fuck with Tiff.
or something in that light.
You're talking about competing against Tiff.
Yeah, she would have did something like she did with Bianca to her, but to Tiff to come back and get the belt because she needs to be in that. I just don't fucking understand it. I'm so fucking confused by it. Monday I was hoping would explain something, and she just then
and they just made it worse.
I don't want to see that feud. It's weird.
We didn't even get an explanation as to why they were a fucking team in the fucking first place. Now, if they did it on the press conference, that's fine. But I'm not staying up till 2 in the fucking morning to watch the fucking post conference. I don't do it for AEW. I'm not doing it for you. So if you don't tell me on the fucking television, I don't fucking know. Or at the very least, post something on the internet about it. Because the whole post show is not on the internet. Not immediately. You have to go back to Peacock. You have to, whatever the case. I'm not staying up till 2 in the morning to find out. And here's another funny thing. Because you were just talking about, you said in the middle of all that, why does Lyra Valkyria need 2 belts? Okay, I don't blame Lyra Valkyria for anything that's coming her way.
Oh no, but I don't want that to be clear. That's not what.
Yeah, I'm not, because Lyra's in a position where she can't yay or nay anything. This is them.
No,
this is them strapping a fucking rocket to her back, and no disrespect, because she's not terrible in the ring at all whatsoever, but. No one gives a teetotal shit about Lyra Valkyria. I'm listening to these audience reactions, and I'm telling you, in fucking Europe, they didn't give a fuck. They give a fuck about everything. If the janitor got into the ring and took a shit in segment 3, they'd have popped for it. You know which mid-card women's title is fucking over? Chelsea fucking Green. And she's not on the fucking card. She's more over than Lyra is. She's not even on the card. Lyra had 2 belts at the end of WrestleMania. And then it dawned on me.
Now I know why. Because they weren't going to put her in a tag team with
Lyra.
Now that makes sense why Chelsea was not getting a WrestleMania moment when this should have been the time to do it, but Lyra was. It was all part of the plan. And I don't think, and that's another thing. It was all a part of the plan for a while, but I don't think Bailey knew that was the case.
Nope.
And when they decided to pull the trigger, they pulled her out, not even on camera. She didn't make an appearance on camera at all. They just said, yo, she ain't here. She got hurt.
Yeah.
Well, that's
let me finish my epiphany, because I was again, because that's the only person I ever talked to. I was talking to my wife, and I said, it's fucked up that Chelsea's not getting on this card, but Lyra is. She's far more over. And she's got the United States Championship, which, you know, they're having the matches on SmackDown, but they're not nearly being as heavily pushed as the Intercontinental title matches. And then it dawned on me, like a lightning bolt to the head. Who's Chelsea Green's husband? Zack Ryder.
okay.
Who got left off this WrestleMania card as U.S. champion despite being more over than almost all the other champions? Chelsea Green. Who does that remind me of? Zack Ryder. Uh-oh. The curse has been passed sexually. She is now getting the Zack Ryder treatment at WWE. She's inherited the curse. That's it. No matter how hard you work or how over you get, we don't want you. We want the other guy. It's happening all over again. And I feel terrible for the little lady, for the lassie. Not the other one, but the real one. So that was a big kerfuffle. But it leads us, as pissed off as everybody was by the end of that one, and there was a lot of pissed off people. I will let you know, sir, you are not alone in the ideology that when I tell you that people were fucking mad that Becky Lynch came back and did that shit, whole baby.
Again.